Okay, students, in this session, I will do a quick recap of certain topics. It's like your last minute revision as you're preparing for your grade 10 exams. I hope you're all preparing well, and you've all prepared so well and still preparing. You still have some time left, right? So just start off with a few basic topics, relatively easy topics only. I will start off with mix of algebra, and yeah, let's start off with quadratic equations. So ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. A, B, C are real numbers, and a cannot be 0 because you can have conditions like in the MCQs, for example, if a is 0, then it's not a quadratic, it becomes a linear. Okay, a, B, C can be any constants, any real numbers. And then what you need to know is d. D is b square minus 4ac. Yeah. So one mistake is when you say if b is minus 2, example, even when you square minus 2, b square will be minus 2 the whole square, which is plus 4. A common error is children take it as minus 4. Be very careful here, okay, these things. So d is b square minus 4ac. And again, if c is negative, so accordingly, let's say I have 3x square plus 2x minus 5, for example. So d will be, here a is 3, isn't it? B is the coefficient of x, which is 2, and c is negative 5. So to b square minus 4 into 3 into 5, they will say. It's not 5, it's negative 5 because c is negative 5. So be very careful of such things because this is not oversight. It's like carelessness. So be very careful with the negative sign. Minus into minus plus. Like you can read in your mind. Okay, 4, 5 are 20, 26 are 60, like this. If you put plus 5, then the entire thing is wrong, isn't it? It goes away. So be very careful with the D, because for Sridharacharya's formula and for solving quadratic equations where, you find the roots up to 2 decimal places, up to 3 significant figures, there you're going to use D anyways, right? So be very careful here. So D is b square minus 4ac. And then the D will say a lot of things, right? When D is greater than 0, that is greater than 0 means positive, the roots are real and but distinct. Distinct means unequal. They're not equal, but they are real. If D is equal to 0, the roots are real and equal. Now, there's nothing like imaginary and equal, remember. It should be real and equal. And D is less than 0, as in if D is negative, the roots are imaginary, virtual roots, or they're not real, you can say. So one under MCQs, if at all it's being asked like this. Yeah, I'll just quickly go through this. Yeah, you can solve by factorization. You can also solve by the formula method, quadratic formula method. Whenever they say solve up to 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, it's understood that it is the formula method. Okay, x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b over 2a. Be very careful here. In most cases, very often I've seen questions where a is 1. Otherwise, you have to put the appropriate value. B square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, this is the thing. Then you might have like questions like, yeah, for example, like just an example, find the value of k, find the k value, so that 3x square plus kx plus 2 is equal to 0. This quadratic equation has roots which are real and equal. Real and equal. So then remember, you're not solving. You're not going to solve in these kind of questions where it says you're not solving for x. Please don't make that mistake of solving for x, because you'll only find the value of k. A is 3, b is k, and c is of course 2. So what you need to do is in these cases where the roots, because you're just worried about the nature of the roots. Real and equal means d is 0. D, discriminant, right? Discriminant is 0. B square minus 4ac is 0. What is b square? K square minus 4 into 3 into 2 is equal to 0. So k square minus 12 to the 24 is equal to 0. K square is 24, or k is plus or minus root 24. So what is this plus or minus root 24? This is important. Plus or minus root 24. In the MCQs, suppose 24 is what? 6 into 4, right? 4 being a perfect square comes out of the radix as 2 root 6. So you get k is equal to plus or minus 2 root 6. So in the MCQs, you can have 2 root 6, option A. B is root 6. C is minus 2 root 6. Option D is both A and C. Be very careful here, because both the roots are acceptable. That's why you have to see both the options. So in this case, it will be option D, where it says both. This is just an example. So here you need to be careful, because K can take on both the values. This is one example, the typical question that can be asked. Likewise, they can ask you to solve. Then if you have a binomial x square minus 16 is equal to 0, then it's simple. You just have to write it as x square minus 4 square is 0, x plus 4 into x minus 4, and then the roots will be what? X is equal to plus or minus 4. Quadratic equation will have two roots. In certain things, that is when d is 0, the roots are real and equal. But there are two roots, remember. And quadratic equation will represent a parabola. I told you this. So not that it will be asked, just remember this. Now it's going to go to the next one. Let's say if you have something like x square minus 3x minus 9 is equal to 0, and they ask you a question like solve this and give your answer correct to, let's say, 2 decimal places. So you will go with your traditional this Sridharacharya's method. A is 1, isn't it? B is equal to -3 and C is equal to -9. So x is equal to minus b minus of -3, that is +3. Remember here, okay? Minus, you write the formula always. Formula writing is very important. Minus b plus or minus, because this will carry marks in case you go wrong also, because you've shown this step. That's what we mean. Please don't write lengthy statements, not required even in word problems. Just show minimal working. Unknowns will be taken as x, whatever, as a variable, whichever, preferably x in these word problems, right? So you have to substitute, that is equal to minus of -3, which is 3, plus or minus root of b square is -3 square, which is, so -3 square minus 4 into a is what? 1 into -9 by 2a, 2 into 1. So 3 plus or minus root of 9 plus 9. Okay. 9 for the 36, isn't it? By 2. That is 3 plus or minus 36 plus 5 is what? 45, no? By 2. 9 5s are 45, right? 45 is what? 9 into 5. The 9 comes out of the radix as 3. 3 plus or minus 9 into 5, isn't it? So the 9 in the under the root comes out as 3, and the 5 remains inside by 2. 3 plus or minus 3 root 5 by 2. This is why you will be using your tables, remember. So 3 plus or minus 3 root 5 by 2. You can take out 3 by 2. 1 plus or minus root 5. See, if you look at the tables, you'll be provided the tables. So that's why they'll expect you to substitute. If you don't have time, leave 2-3 lines and then go to the next sum and then come back to it. But then if it's for long calculations, I'm saying. But then root 5 value will be given to you in the tables, isn't it? So root 5 is 2.236. And also I keep telling you that try not to spend more than 20 minutes on MCQs. Whatever you do, you're going to get maximum 15 marks there. So in the first 20 minutes, you should finish off your MCQs. Root 5 is 2.236. So this is from the tables. You'll be provided that sheet. So 3 by 2, 1 plus or minus 2.236. With plus you get a value, and with negative you can get a value. Now that is not the real question. What finally you need to solve is, so you will be getting 4.854, or x is 1 minus 1.854, whatever you're going to get. The question says up to 2 decimal places. So you will have to come up till here. Here 4 is less than 5. It's redundant. So it's 4.85. We stop at this. And here again, x is equal to minus 1.85. So again 4. If it's 5 or greater than 5, you'll add on 1 here. But that's not required, because even suppose it's x is equal to minus 1.873. You leave the 7 and it becomes minus 1.87. Suppose x is minus 1.87, let's say 6. Now 6 is more than 5. 5 or more than 5 means you'll be adding 1 here. So it's not redundant now, minus 1.8. This 7 becomes 8. This 6 is of course 0. This is minus 1.88. This is the difference. You just have to be very careful how many decimal places you're going to solve up to. And if it is significant figures, if I say 3.45, so 3 significant figures. 3.021. So here there are 4 significant figures. Suppose they say 2 significant figures, it will be 3.02. You will be truncating. So be very careful. 0 coming in between 2 non-zeros, non-zero digits will be still a significant figure. You have to account for it. Okay. So just be careful of those things. And you cannot solve wherever it says up to 2 decimal places, up to 3 decimal places, up to 2 significant figures, etc. You have to solve by Sridharacharya's, because it will result in a decimal value. Otherwise, you could have just you could have just done your factorization. Not everything is factorizable in that manner, right? That's why we have the Sridharacharya's method. Okay. I'll just move on to the next one, which is yeah. So what problems? Whatever is the unknown, please keep the unknown as x and solve for it for framing the equation. I'll just go to the banking part. So in banking, very simple. So you remember what finally the amount that he gets is maturity value. P is the amount that I'm going to deposit every month. Let's say for n months. Now if they say n is, remember here very often the common mistake the students make is they take n in terms of years. Suppose they say 2 years, you have to convert it to months. 2 into 12 is 24. Then n will be 24. So remember the n value stands for months here. N into P plus I. I is the interest. So what you get finally will be the maturity value. Yeah, that is the lump sum that you get. So the NP is in my investment, whatever because this is what I'm putting every month, right? I'm going to get back this plus I. So I is what? Yeah, P into N plus 1 upon 24 into R by 100. It's like PTR by 100, right? PTR by 100. So here it is N into N plus 1 by 24 into R by 100, rate per percent per annum. Just be very careful with the N because it has to be in terms of months. So if they say the interest received is, that means it's only this part, the P and this part, okay? When they say maturity value, it's NP plus I. So this is it. Okay. Sometimes they'll ask you to find P, sometimes they'll ask you to find R, sometimes N. If it's N, it's going to be a quadratic in N, right? So you need to solve for it. So just be very careful. If it is, they've asked for MV and if they've asked for P, it is really straightforward because you can just use the formula. But they ask for N because when you expand this, you can see N into N plus 1 term is there, right? So it becomes N square. So you'll get 2 values and N, remember, it's always positive. N is going to be a positive number. Okay. So let's say the maturity value of, I'm just writing here some quickly for reference, of an RD account is recurring deposit, yeah, 16176. If the monthly installment is rupees 400, monthly installment means P is rupees 400, and the rate of interest is 8%. So all this will be given. They'll say the monthly investment or the amount that he invests every month is rupees 400, or the installment we could say, and rate of interest. Find the time period. Here I want N. So this is a typical sum. So 16176 is equal to what? NP. Okay. NP plus P into N into N. Well, I'll just write it down once. Always it's good to write the formula once. Okay. And now you just have to substitute. So 16176, right, is equal to, you can take out P common. P is 400. You'll be left with N plus 1 remains, right? You've taken N common by 24 into R is 8 upon 100. Okay. So, yeah, then you can cancel out 8 1s are 8 3s are. So 16176 so is equal to 400, and you can take the LCM, right? Yeah, it becomes 400. So 300 N plus N into N plus 1. I'm just taking LCM. You can do it in different ways. Okay. Then the zeros will cancel out, and into 3 by 4. See, when I take it up, 16176 into 3 by 4 is equal to N into 301 plus N. So now this is a quadratic. See, what I will suggest is now, okay, you can cancel by 4, right? So you'll be getting it as 4044, 16, yeah, 0, 4, 4, 16, yeah, into 3 is equal to N into 301 plus N. See, it's a quadratic. But now I think I mentioned this in class also. You can suitably rearrange this. Now, what do I mean by this? You see, you try to, this is going by 3. This will also go by 12. Why? It will go by 12. Take big numbers. It will go by 12. It will not go by 18. 4 3s are 12, right? 44, it will go by 3. It will go by 4. What goes by 3 and 4 will go by 12. So 4044 by 12, we'll see what happens. What do I get? So 12 into 12 3s are 36, right? Now 44. 12 3s are 36. How much? 8, right? 12 7s are. Now I got 337, which is near to 301. Now, why am I doing this? I'll tell you. So you can use Rijra formula. You can do this, but there's another approach here. I can write 4044 as 337 into 12, isn't it? See, I've broken that into factors into 3. Now you will understand what I'm trying to say in a while. See, yeah, 337 into 12 threes are 36 is equal to n into 301 plus n. Now, if you look carefully, you see, I'll just take you there. 336 into 337. I'm just rewriting it. Multiplication is commutative, right? So n into 301 plus n. So n into 301 plus n. Now you see what I'm doing. I'm writing this 36. I can write 337 as 301 plus 36, right? Now what is this 301? 301 is here. So this 337 on the left-hand side, I'm going to write it as 301 plus 36. Now you just have to compare. Now why I can do this? Because I told you n is going to be a natural number. It's a number of months, right? So you look here. So this is 301, 301. And wherever there is n, you have 36. So n is 36 months or 3 years. So this is the technique that you can adopt. That is when n is given. N is to be found out, not given. So I had mentioned this also in class while solving one of the MCQs or some problem related to this. So you can do this. Yeah, just you have to break it up. So that otherwise you're going to get a quadratic in n, 301n plus n squared and Long-Sridharacharya's formula have to be used there. Because it's not on quadratic. It's from banking, right? Nobody's going to test your knowledge of using that quadratic formula method here. You can use this and hence say that comparing. And so this is one approach. For those of you who missed out in the session, I've just mentioned that here. Then I'll take you to probability. Next is, be very careful with probability here. In MCQs, if they ask you certain event, what's the probability of a certain event? Probability of a certain event is, or a sure event is 1, right? Probability of an impossible event which cannot occur at all. Probability of that event is, what will be that? It will be 0. Then probability of any other event, it will always lie between these two bounds of any random experiment. The event of when you perform a random experiment, if you're expecting any particular event, the probability of that event will lie between 0 and 1. 0 is for the one extreme, that is for the impossible case, and 1. So they can ask you like this, less than or equal to 1. It's wrong. In the 4 options they ask you, this is the correct option. It should include 0 and 1. 0 is the lower bound for impossible case, and for the other extreme, that is for a certain event, it is 1. So probability of any other event will lie between this. When they say probability can be 99%, yes, 99% is 99 upon 100. Okay. Then if they ask you probability is negative, no. Negative probabilities are not allowed. Improper fractions like 5 by 4 not allowed. It should be a proper fraction. So these are the things that you need to remember. Then coin, the possibilities H. One coin is H and T. That is when one coin is tossed. Then when you have 2 coins which are tossed, it will be HH, TT, TH and HT. These cases. Then if it is 3 coins, C1, C2, C3, HT, 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 HT. Because see, 1 coin means 2 to the power of 1, 2 possibilities. When 2 coins, 2 to the power of 2, which is 4 not possibilities, 4 outcomes in the sample space. And then when 3 coins means 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. Then HH, TT. I told you how to write this. HH, TT. And this one will alternate 4 times. HH, HH, TT, TT. So you can write on all of it. This is one event, HHH. Next is HHT, HT. So all the 8 you will be able to get. So at most means maximum 1 head. At least means at least 1. Minimum. So probability of getting at most 1 head. At most means you can get 0 at most 1 head. That means you should get at least 1 head. So you can get 1 head or 2 head, even 3 heads. But you will not take the 0 head case. That is 3 tails are not taken in this consideration. Probability of at least 1 head, if I say. So at least case refers to minimum. At most refers to maximum. Just be careful of that. And here the sample space, the denominator is 8 here. When 3 coins. But when 2 coins are tossed, it is 4 denominator. When 1 coin is tossed, there are only 2 options, right? Head or tail. So 2, 1 by 2. So these things. And then in the case of die, remember it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then be very careful here. Probability of getting a prime number, 1 is neither prime nor composite. So you'll only take 2, 3 and 5 as the prime numbers. 1 is neither prime nor composite. You need to remember. And then if they say perfect squares, it is 1 and 4. Then all these things is when 1 die is rolled and the denominator will be 6, whatever. Number of cases favorable to that event. That will come in the numerator. Favorable upon total. Total is 6. If you have 2 coins, you can get 2 dice rather. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, and 1, 6, right? 6 cases. There, sorry, 6 for with 1, then 2, 1, 36 you'll get. All the way up to 6, 1, 6, 2. Okay, like this going on to 6, 6. So 6 into 6, there are 36 possibilities. So when you have 2 dice rolled, the denominator will be 36. And accordingly, you can solve for it. The other thing is complementary cases. Probability of it raining, suppose it's E. Probability of it not raining will be E dash or E bar. So probability of E plus E bar is 1. So when you sum up two complementary events, the probability will be equal to 1. Probability of loss plus probability of gain is equal to 1. So this is one thing you need to remember. And I'll just go to AP, arithmetic progression. So A plus D, A plus 2D, and so on. Then A plus n minus 1 into D. That is the nth term, right? The general expression for the nth term. An is A plus n minus 1 into D. So D can be positive or negative. Like if it is 2, 4, 6, dash, dash, dash here. This is A1, first term, of which is A. Second term is A2. D is what? 2 here. 4 minus 2 or 6 minus 4. Common difference, yeah? And D can also be negative. Like if you have a decreasing AP, if you have like 18, 15, 12, and so on. So D is negative here, right? 15 minus it. Or be very careful. D is any successor minus predecessor. 15 minus 18, which is negative 3 in this case. So the nth term is given by An is equal to A plus what? A plus n minus 1 into D. In a finite AP, sometimes you'll have a last term. Okay. So A1, A2, A3, they'll give you some terms. And they'll give you the last term as L. Okay. So that means, okay, they ask you, what is the number of, or how many terms are there in this AP? See, this last term will be AN, let's suppose. So that n value, it's like I told you in a roll number in a class. If I want to know how many students are there, if I get the roll number of the last student in that roll number list, then I will know how many students are there. Suppose roll number 51 is the last in a particular class. That means the number of students in that class is 51. It's like that, the same concept. So the rank of the last term will give me the number of terms. So when they give you like this, so you can find out D, A2 minus A1 is D in this case, right? So if you want AN is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D, and AN is L because it might be given to you, right? The last term. So the rank of the last term will give you the number of terms. You need to remember this. Then if they ask you, okay, I'll just take one example. Like 4, 9, 14, there's an AP here. The last term is 254. Find the 10th term from the end. So this is the last term. Here in the normal sense, what is D? 9 minus 4 or 14 minus 9, which is 5. So the last term from the end is the formula for the last term from the end, which is instead of A, you will write L plus n minus 1 into minus D. So it is 254 plus n minus 1. N minus 1 is what? If I ask you, like, suppose I ask you if the 10th term in the 10th term from the end, from this side, from the L side, the last term side. So 10 minus 1 is 9 into minus 5. So it is 254 minus 45. It will be 209 in this case. So this is an example. If I ask you the 10th term, just the 10th term, it will be AN is A plus n minus 1 into D. There's no need to make any changes. Only if they say, and then you'll put n is 10. If they say the nth term from the end, you have to go that way. Okay, then another question is, coming to what I was just telling, 4, 7, 10, 13, and 148. This is an AP. It's a finite AP. They're asking you to find the number of terms. So A is 4. What is D? 3. Then the last term is 148, which is AN, let's say. So the rank of the last term will give me the number of terms, right? 148 is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. D is 3. So in that case, 4. A is 4. So 144, taking that side, is equal to n minus 1 into 3. So 3 comes down. 144 by 3 is n minus 1. So what is 144 by 3? It will be 48, right? 48 is n minus 1, or the n gets transferred there. N is 49. Okay, so 49. Which term of the AP is, then I can ask which term of the AP is 52. I can give you 1, 4, 7, 10, dash 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 sum AP. So some term, let the nth term be 52. AN is 52. I need to know the corresponding n. So A is 1, D is what? 4 minus 1, which is 3. So 52 is equal to A plus n minus 1 into 3. So 51 is, this goes here. Eh? So n minus 1 into 3. 51 by 3 is 17 is n minus 1, or n is 18. The 18th term is 52. So these things you need to be careful. The other type of problems is when determine the AP whose third term is 5. Third term is 5. There's an AP where the third term is 5. That is A3 is 5. Okay. And they can say that seventh term is 9. I'm just taking few examples here. Seventh term is 9. That is A7 is 9. So when they give you like this, what is it? A7 is what? A plus 6D is equal to 9, equation 1. Third term is 5, that is A plus n minus 1, no? 5 minus 1, which is 4D, sorry, is equal to 5. A plus 4D is equal to 5. And what you have to do is you have to solve by substitution, elimination, any suitable method. You can do 1 minus 2, you will get 2D is equal to 4 or D is equal to 2. And you can substitute for D in any of the equations, you'll get. So D is equal to 2 means A plus 2 plus 6D is equal to 9. So 6D, yeah. So I get not D is equal to 2D is equal to 4, right? D is equal to, let me just solve for it. 6 minus 4 is 2D. 9. 9 minus, so D is equal to 2. Isn't it? Yeah. So determine the AP whose third term, A plus 2D is 5. Third term, sorry, A plus 2D is 5. 1 minute. I'll just solve this. It's not fifth term. I made a mistake. Yeah. So I get 4D is 4, sorry. So A plus 2D is 5. So 4D is 4. D is 1 in this case. All right. I mean, I'm just doing equation 1 minus equation 2. So D is 1. And this value I'll back. This is just an example of where you use your substitution elimination. D is 1. So A plus 6D. A plus 6 into 1 is equal to 9. A is equal to 3. So the AP is 3. Next term is you add D, which is 4. Then 5 and so on. This is the AP. If they ask you, find the AP. Okay. So, yeah. And one more thing that you need to remember is if 3 terms are in AP, A, B, C are in AP, A, B, C are in AP, then the central term, 3 consecutive terms of an AP are given, let's say. Okay. So the central term B is equal to A plus C by 2. In other words, it's the mean of A and C. B is the mean of A and C. Or you can say B is equal to, if for 1 markers or an MCQ, they ask, so if 3 terms are in AP, the central term is the average of the other 2. That you need to remember. Okay. So I'll just go to the next session. I'll stop at this. I'll just take you to the next session.